Hi, I'm Hani Shamat from the Shared Use Mobility Center, and today we're talking with Katherine Conrad from NEORide about updates on the EZfare program. So EZfare was originally developed and implemented with funding and technical assistance provided by the Federal Transit Administration's Integrated Mobility Innovation Program. This grant supported EZfare as a demonstration project, and NEORide has been able to continue providing the service past its pilot phase. Katherine's here today to talk about how the program has evolved since, so thank you for being with us today.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah. And to start, can you please give a brief introduction to yourself and tell us a little bit more about NEORide?
Sure. Again, my name is Katherine Conrad. I'm the executive director here at NEORide. NEORide is a council of governments, so we're made up only of public transit entities or governments that are supporting public transit. We currently have 40 members across 11 states. We've seen a lot of growth. We started about 11 years now with three mid-sized transits here in Ohio and have since expanded to help support public transit across the country.
Great. And could you give a brief overview of the EZfare project and how it works?
Sure. So EZfare was really our first foray into doing a joint procurement as well as a project to help support multiple transits. So back in 2018, we did a procurement and we're looking for a mobile ticketing vendor who would help support, at the time, it was about 5 or 6 agencies that were all small or mid-sized to get into the mobile ticketing uh, world. And we really were looking for a solution that would allow for easier transportation across county lines because all of our transits had different fare boxes, different fare media, and we realized that it could be a complication or a barrier. And so since then, we launched the EZfare program. We started with visual validation, just to allow people to be able to view a moving barcode on their phone and validate that with a bus driver. We have since then we've added in validators and have launched with account-based ticketing and fare capping with some of our members. Today we have 18 members who are now on the app, and we are in 5 states and are continuing to expand. And one of the great things about EZfare is that it does allow agencies the flexibility to continue providing service that makes sense for them, um, and keep that autonomy while still working in a coordinated effort with other transits. So some of our transits are still doing visual validation because that's what makes sense for them. And some of our transits have launched fare capping and ABT, and are looking at moving to EMV. And we kind of have different ones all in between. Transits are still able to set their fare type as well as the amount that they want to charge for fare. So that gives them the autonomy, but we do have the single EZfare brand. So we're able to not only share a procurement, but we're able to share marketing resources and information sharing across multiple agencies because transits are within a group that allows them to reach out to others easily, ask for tips and tricks and best practices.
And considering this multi-agency, multi-state nature of NEORide and of the EZfare program, what are some of the challenges and barriers and support that you've encountered in expanding this, across many different agencies and across state lines even?
Yeah, so some of the challenges, it is getting a large group of individuals to move together. But I think that, one of the things that we've been able to do is continue to create enough autonomy that agencies still have flexibility. So it's not a one size fits all program. It's kind of like a Chinese menu. We have had some challenges where we try to launch multiple agencies at the same time. That did not really work out very well. That's challenging. So I try to avoid that altogether, because, every transit is different. There's different community needs. And then just getting into multi-state, it's about communication. And, one of the things, luckily, that COVID did bring us is this ability to basically be communicating all the time virtually. Laws have started to change to allow us to have virtual meetings, as well as just regular communication that isn't required as in person, which probably wasn't as true about 10 years ago. So that's really been able to bring forth this ability for us to do multi-state.
And what has been the role of the state DOTs in this process?
So because we're in Ohio, we've worked most with the Ohio DOT. They have provided some funding for the project to help transit agencies in Ohio get it off the ground. We haven't worked as much with other state DOTs. Um, it's been more involvement either with FTA or FHWA.
And what are some of the key insights that you've learned from all of these participant agencies so far? What's working and what needs improvement?
Yeah, so I think what's working is that transit agencies are able to quickly get up and going on a mobile ticketing platform without doing a complicated procurement that can take anywhere from a year to 2 years at times. The other thing that really was helpful is when we did our last procurement, we did bring technical resources to help us make sure that we were asking for the right things and that our scope really aligned with the needs of our agencies. I think that sometimes the challenge can be with any technology vendor around customer service or communication. Um, so I think that that is probably one of the bigger challenges is making sure that that customer service continues. And we here at NEORide try to support that as much as possible. So we have transit agencies who are really struggling with a specific problem with their mobile ticketing system. We try and step in and help coordinate that with our vendor who currently is Wasabi.
And can you talk a little bit about the rider experience? I mean, how has EZfare impacted riders?
Yeah, so we are definitely starting to see a continued increase in riders adopting mobile ticketing. Um, because we are also integrated with Transit app and Move It and Uber, we are across multiple platforms. So it does provide an easier rider experience for them to be able to log in, purchase a ticket. Um, you know, a lot of things are moving cashless, whether you're going to an event locally or you're going to a store. A lot of times, cash just isn't really the norm anymore. Um, and it's not to say that isn't true for everyone, because there are still individuals who do require cash, and we do offer options to ensure that cash can be loaded into the mobile ticketing app. But I think it's provided another mechanism to create an easier transportation experience.
And how has it facilitated multi-agency transfers or interagency transfers and connecting people to, you know, destinations across different jurisdictions?
Right. So the app does provide you the ability to buy multiple types of tickets in one location. We also have some agencies who do offer a single ticket that works across multiple agencies. That's true with Cincinnati, Sorta, and then Tank in Kentucky. They have a shared pass. And we are actually also starting a regional study in Northeast Ohio to look at how we can have a single pass across 5 or 6 different agencies. Really, my ultimate goal is to be able to get to the point where somebody can ride and tap with all of the determination of who gets the fares on the back end without the customer having to experience any of that or figure out what kind of ticket type they need based on what agency they're riding.
Sounds great. Can we talk a little bit about funding? You know,
Yeah.
what grants and opportunities have really helped the expansion and the upgrades to this program?
So, as you originally mentioned, the integrated mobility program through FTA IMI really created a lot of the seed money to put validators on all of uh, the vehicles or the buses that we're currently using. It also funded a pretty robust research program through Cleveland State University to help us determine the effects on our riders and to ensure that this program did make sense, which we did receive very positive feedback on. We also have received grants through Ohio DOT as well as FHWA to help fund programs to continue to expand. Um, and I think those are the federal resources I can think of, and the state resources. Transits have also been able to use. Now we're getting big enough. Honestly, some of the resources that are being used, I'm not even aware of.
Great. Shifting gears a little bit, how has the investment and the development of EZfare kind of as a demonstration project enabled, for some further innovations?
Yeah, I think that really looking at that more of a regional approach is a new innovation. As I mentioned, talking about working across cross county lines and developing a regional path that can work on multiple systems. We've seen that kind of one off at different places, but we're really looking to continue to expand that regionalism. And then I think that the other important piece is, integrating with providers across multiple systems, whether it is transit app, whether it's Uber, Lyft, any of those, making sure that, we are agnostic and we're meeting the customer where they are.
And can you give a quick overview of EZConnect and talk a little bit about how it relates to EZfare?
Sure. So EZConnect is a program that we have been working on the last several years. It really has started in some operational mode this year. But the idea was to have a mobile ticket or a call center and dispatching center that would work across multiple agencies. So there's actually a hub in Southwest Ohio, in Cincinnati, who is taking calls for Butler County is a neighboring county in the evenings. That did not exist before. They're also doing transportation across multiple counties on paratransit, what they call one seat ride project. So you can ride from Butler County through the Cincinnati area and over the border into Kentucky on a single paratransit ride without having to make those connections, which honestly, many disabled customers were struggling with that and really felt abandoned at times. And this was a real need, so we tied that into the EZconnect program. And then in Northeast Ohio, we also did a similar one with WRTA being main hub, and then they started taking calls from Columbiana and Trumbull County, investing in those resources. And I think one of the things we're seeing is that it is very hard for small and rural agencies to be able to get the same level of resources and funding as the larger agencies. So we're trying to bring all those together so that despite the fact living in a more rural community, those transit passengers are still able to get the customer service and support they need by partnering with these other larger agencies. And then
And
EZfare, yeah, we have passes that are available for EZfare on that One Seat Ride project. It's a new pass that's available, so that's tied in. And then, so they do kind of provide that technical assistance for our EZfare customers as well.
all right. And just in general, since its inception, NEORide has really expanded a lot, both in terms of, participant agencies and also in its, geographic footprint.
Mm-hmm.
So what does it take for a transit agency to join NEORide?
So any governmental entity can become a member of NEORide. So NEORide has members who are both public transits, and sometimes we have the city or county who join on behalf of a local transit agency, depending on their formation. But really, the process is as simple as the governmental entity would pass a resolution to join NEORide and accept our bylaws. And then NEORide would then also vote to bring that member on. And once that's complete, each member or each participating agency has an equal vote on a board and can appoint an alternate. And then we do have some membership dues that are available or required as well. And those are tier based so that, agencies can be able to afford to come in based on what level they're at.
Right. So after EZfare and EZConnect, what is the next iteration of mobility innovation for NEORide?
Yeah. So we one of the things we're doing right now is we're managing a SMART grant through the Office of the Secretary, the DOT. And so that is actually providing new safety systems, retrofitting some fixed route buses to add in automatic braking, lane assist, cruise control. So those first fixed route buses are coming off the line this summer, and we're excited to start seeing what adding in some of those safety features can look like. We're also working on a workforce development project uh, through some Lono grants that were funded. So we're developing more of a robust workforce development program um, around alternative fueled vehicles and making sure that we have those training materials put into place. We are continuing also to do a lot in the procurement space, specifically on IT related procurements. So members of NEORide can utilize procurements. We're actually meeting today to sign a contract with about 6 different ABL type vendors. So those procurements are available. We have procurements for digital signs and a lot of other IT based. Because really the DOTs are great at doing fixed route bus procurements, and there's a lot of support there, but there's not as much support on the IT side, even though it is complex and requires a lot of heavy lifting to get those done.
And so the Shared Use Mobility Center um, helped provide technical assistance throughout the IMI program. Can you
Mm-hmm.
talk just a little bit about the value of technical assistance, the value of peer-to-peer exchanges in developing this project and developing, innovative mobility projects in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think that some of the relationships I made through the SUMC program, I still keep in touch with those people to this day. We see each other at conferences and are able to touch base and share some of shared experiences, if you will. So I continue to keep those. And I think that was one of the biggest benefits is being able to bring people around who are all doing a similar program and ensure that we, are be able to exchange those ideas and challenges and how are other transits able to do this. And then the other thing that was really helpful is some T staff was able to help on the research, look at the survey, help us navigate some different issues. So it was very helpful to be part of that project.
Great, thanks. And then a final question. What recommendations would you have for another organization in another region, trying to implement or trying to create something similar?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is to have a group of participants who really want to work together. And if that's in place, I think you can really achieve a lot. So I think that just getting a group of transits who love the idea, but then at the same time, making sure that you're not making the rules to work together so complex that it makes it difficult. You still have to allow for transit agencies to keep some autonomy in the process because it is very difficult to require everybody to do the exact same thing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, Catherine.
Absolutely.